Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the one, the only, welcome to RaceFace.Pro. But this time, welcome to the SA Lube F4 Championship. Gotta say, absolutely incredible to be here. And we're in for our first round for the SA Lube F4 Season 3. And I'd like to point out, is part of the MSA calendar for sim racing events and partnering with a new sponsor that is delivering with passion, stepping into the world of sim racing, something new, something exciting, and with 20 decades, 20 years of going and being the leading performance in distributing oils and lubricants for all your vehicles. We're going to be having a bit of fun here at the likes of Circuit De Jerez this evening, and my name is Stephen Koenig. Thank you very much for joining us, and welcome to the track. Welcome to Circuit De Jerez, and welcome to a very interesting circuit right here in El General. Out in Spain, it is a bit warm out here, 37 degrees temperature, with track length of 4.37 kilometers long. It's going to be a challenging time for our drivers as they've got a double heat this evening. Heat 1, Heat 2, so it's all about making it work this evening right here in Spain around the Circuit de Jerez El Nieto. We've got two different classes that are racing this evening. We're into the qualifying stages as it goes. A couple of guys weren't able to make it to the grid. I know Cameron De Bastos was one of them who just missed out on getting to the grid, and I'm sure we'll hear from him a little bit later, but he will be back up and going. Now, with a new sponsor, new exciting, the SA Lube F4 Cup is something incredibly exciting for every single person up and down the field. One, we've got a leading brand of all lubricants and going and ensuring machinery in South Africa gets to the top of its world, but also at the same time, leading distributor of it right around the world. It's just absolutely incredible. Now stepping into the world of sim racing and making a massive splash in it, because not only are they taking this monstrous step into the world of sim racing, they will be also putting up a bit of prize money on the line. And you want to hear me up, about 12,000 Rand prize pool. Now that sounds a bit interesting, but it gets better because it is split, and I have actually got the splits here. Over the 4 rounds, the accumulated points will be able to get it. So first, if you get at by the end of all 4 rounds, first place of the Pro Division will get 3,000 Rand cold hard cash. Second place will get 2,000 Rand. Third place, 1,500 Rand. Fourth place, 1,000 Rand. Fifth place, 750 Rand. Sixth place, 500 Rand. Seventh place is 250 Rand. Moving into our Pro-Ams, first place of our Pro-Ams will get 1,000 Rand. Second place, 800 Rand. Third place, 600 Rand. Fourth place, 400 Rand. Fifth place, getting 200 Rand cash from SA Lube for the SA Lube F4 Cup Series, Season 3 of this amazing series. And gotta say, it's got everyone rather excited for tonight of how it's all going to work out. And I'm taking a look over to the grandstands. We've got quite a few people joining us here this evening. Glad to have you all ready to have a bit of fun. But now I'm sure you're sick and tired of my voice, so let's bring in some of the engine noises of these FIA F4s. And I just want to point out here on the iRacing service, the FIA F4s are one of the closest sets to the F4s that we've got, and laser scanned, it is the closest to the real life cars as possible, even to the point that the FIA has their hands in developing this car and BOPing to make it exactly like what you see on the real life circuit. Good to see it out there. But good to see a couple of drivers out there as we switch over to our qualifying. Jan Fourie out in first place. Troy Dolanchik is currently in second place. Third place is Schick Hildenace, along with Ryan Ottens in fourth. Timothy Stanton So here is Ryan Ottens exiting the pits. And I see he's still got his old name, Hybrid Academy. He's actually under Alpha 1. His team, Timothy Stanton, is leading our Pro-Ams. He is in 5th place. 6th place is Willem Buerta, followed by Jason Coetzee, Nico Killerman, Luke Lucchese, Jamie Rees, also part of that Alpha 1 team, and Ryan Arton's teammate in the fight. Fony Graven lying in 11th position. Artie Nachel in 12th. 13th is Herman Lazarus. And we've also got Peter van der Spey out on the circuit. Peter Joubert. Pierre Kazin, who's all the way out from across the waters. It's good to have him here for the SA Lube F4 Cup. Yuri Swart and Doe Gerber rounding out our field tonight. And with 2 different classes, it's going to be an all-out fight. So far, this is the first time the drivers have been on the circuit. Not many have actually taken out Circuit De Jerez, this circuit out here in Spain. And they have been duking it out for the very first time in these cars on the circuit with this configuration. So it is a completely new turn of events, but does follow the official iRacing calendar. So tons of practice can be had. Oh, bit of contact there. Jason Coetzee had nowhere to go. And Sheikh Hildenas, who went and tried keeping it all together. Unfortunately, the rear snapping out underneath him for it. So, down to the 142 threes and just getting it nice and slick. The engine's absolutely purring for the SA Lube F4s. And in the sim racing world, well, I'm sure we're getting more than enough from our main title sponsor joining in. And this is their first ever time joining in with sim racing as a total, which is absolutely incredible stuff to see large companies now starting to enjoy it, and especially with being in the business for 20 years and heading more than that. They're looking to make a name in the future of motorsport right here in South Africa, because this is part of the Motorsport South Africa's calendar, along with a couple other series that have now joined the fray, as sim racing is becoming more and more prominent in the world of racing, and also becoming the future where youngsters and also people with disabilities, people with backgrounds, financial backgrounds, that whether you've got lots or little, you're able to duke it out with the best. And taking a look at the drivers out here, we have got drivers that have competed on levels, winning national titles. We have drivers like Troy Dolanchik, who has really charged up to the top and is now fighting out. He is our Formula 1600 2023 champion, who is now out on the circuit with a fellow sim racers. So he is really going and putting in a great performance for the SA Lube F4 Cup. And well, as taking a look into the grandstands here, we got Sean Kirby going and saying excited to see that SA Lube is around the Castrol distributor, getting involved in racing, something unique, something new, and something exciting. We're glad to have them here having a bit of fun. We've also got Sean Mayer, Cameron de Bastos, Roland Ferreira, all joining in to keep an eye on it. Second place is Johan Fourie. He is managing to get a little bit of a lap time of a 1:48.4, so not quite as fast as he would like to get it all sorted out. Lap times dropping a little bit down the order. There is currently our best lap times as it stands, and we'll bring up our lap time delta board as well. As you can see, Fourie has got a slight gap to the likes of Swart through sector 1 and 2 and 3. Let's see if it's going to be able to help him through the battle as they make their way through. Good to see some excitement. Good to see the F4s back once again. I'm a fan of single seaters, and I'm a fan of going and seeing these cars go out onto the track and really showing off what they can do. Jan Fourie, our 3-time TCR champion, now putting the fight all the way to our current champion, which is Troy Dolanchik in the F4s. Yuri Swart, don't count him out. Yuri Ompi Swart, a phenomenal driver that's looking to step up the game and really chase down Chick Hildenas, the underling, well, I couldn't say underling, the underdog in this fight, has been really taking the charge in the Clio Cup, and now is going and laying it all on the line for the SA Lube F4 Cup. Here this evening, Ryan Ottens our defending champion from the world of sim racing. Ryan Otten's got given a chance to test drive the Toyota Yaris GR, but has not done any formal of real life racing. So he is a hardcore sim racer trying to fight it out with the best. Then you have got Jamie Reese as well, who has not stepped into the world in terms of real world racing. They're going to fight out with some national titles out there. Sean Weber saying, hello guys, don't own the track, so I'm out for this one, but we'll be back for round 2. We're looking forward to seeing you in round 2. It's a bit of bother that you're missing out on the track. It is a popular circuit, so definitely one to keep an eye out for, but that's a couple of reasons why drivers aren't able to be in the race this evening. But with an 18-car stacked grid, 12,000 Rand online for the SA Lube F4 Cup, everything is on the line. And I know that there has been excitement at the SA Lube going and having an interview. They went and said going and stepping into the world of sim racing is a next level to what they're doing, because they're a distributor of lubricants and oils for Castrol right here in South Africa. They thought, you know what, let's invest into the future of this. Now jumping into the world of sim racing, they're not quite getting all the oil into these cars as we would like, but everyone's looking pretty good out there. Timothy Stanton currently in 8th place. He is leading out our Pro-Ams, and he is trying to keep up the charge, getting into that 143.5. At the moment, Troy Dolanchik leading out the charge. He has got that 42.3 as his best lap time. Jan Free doing a 42.6, trying to catch up. And you got Chick Hildenes with a 42.7, so very, very close in time. Yuri Swart, keep an eye on him, 42.7, and will be right on the tails. Ryan Otten's chasing him down, 42.8, trying to move his way up through the order. Luke Lucchese as well is looking to put the dog in the fight with a 42.8. Then we're moving into our 43, starting with Jamie Reese with a 43.1. Timothy Stanton moving into a 43.5. Willem Pinard with a 43.6 as his best lap time. Jason Coetzee with a 43.6 as well. 9.2, very, very close in those lap times. Nico Killerman out there on the circuit, ready to have a bit of fun. I do see we have one driver who jumped in rather late that's come into the fray, and that will be Veynon Kersop. That will be in. He's going to just get in at the end of qualifying, racing in the Pro-Am class. So Veynon Kersop looking to try and take the fight to everyone. Peter van der Spey, for anyone that doesn't know who he is, he races currently in the SAES in the Juno, going and fighting out with Byron Mitchell. So going and used to the world of endurance racing, stepping into the world of sprint racing right here at RaceFace.Pro. Lewis O'Keefe also coming into the grandstand saying, how's it everybody? Looking forward to the race. Good to see you guys out there. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon. Also leave us a like, go and share the link. Let's get this far and wide for the SA Lube F4 Cup, because we got some phenomenal racing coming up this evening as our live timing, kind of doing what live timing does. Makes life interesting. Johan Fourie out into second place, 0.2 of a second behind, just not able to get himself right into the fray of things, but qualifying is over. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's go over to our grid and see who's starting where. Troy Dolanchik out in first place, Johan Fourie in second place, along with Chick Hildenes, Yuri Swart, Ryan Ottens, Luke Lucchese, Jason Coetzee, Jamie Reese in 8th. 9th place is Timothy Stanton, followed by Willem Buerta, Nico Killerman, Peter Joubert in 12th. Moving down the field, though, into 13th place, we got Artie Nagel, Fony Graven, Pierre Cuisine. Then we've got Herman Lazarus, Peter van der Linde, Doug Herber, and Veynon Kersop rounding out our field tonight, right here at the SA Lube F4 Cup, powered by RaceFace.Pro. Remember, this is classes, and this is all about taking the fight, and Timothy Stanton will be leading it out for our Pro-Ams. Troy Dolanchik will be leading it out for our pros. Jan Fourie will be in second place of our pros. So, all to play for, points on the line, money in the bag. This is going to be a proper fight to the line. Tim on the cameras, and we have got Jim who will be on the lights. So Jim, over to you to tell us when we're ready to go. All eyes on Troy Dolanchik though. Standing start. They will wait for the lights to light up one by one. Can hear them all revving up, ready to go. Two cars are not on the grid as yet. Jamie Rees and Vanon Kersop a little bit late to the party. Everyone else starting to burn a bit of fuel, and those engines starting to get a bit of heat into them. So they need to get to those grid, otherwise we're going to time them out. They're going to have to start from the pits. And you can see the drivers going and moving the wheels left and right, trying to get their heads in the game for this monstrous fight right here tonight for round one of the SA Lube at Circuit De Jerez. Moving on to our lights. Jim, over to you, buddy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lights off, and we are going. Green, 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 and it's a great start from the back. It does look like Willem Buerta moving up through the order. Nico Killerman also with a tremendous start, leaping off the line. Troy Dolanchik will be holding first place. Jan Free in second, dealing with Chick Hildenace, looking up on the inside. Can't get it all hooked in as yet. Tires are absolutely frigid on these cars, so you are going to be tiptoeing with one another at the moment. Yuri Swart starting to open up the pack. And then Ryan Ottens feeling the pressure as Luke Lucchese right on the back of him. Jamie Rees getting all out of shape in the background, losing out the position to Jason Coetzee, who's actually got no rear wing. So Jason Coetzee was involved in a slight bump that has gone and broken the rear wing off his car, and he will fight it out. He's not going to have the aero to fight it out with the drivers, but being a champion, he will do everything he can. Troy Dolanchik outbraking himself. So does Chick Hildenace. And Johan Free now down into third place. Just couldn't keep up the pace there. And now feels the pressure from the likes of Yuri Swart right onto the back of him, of our pros. Moving on to our Pro-Ams, Timothy Stanton currently leading our Pro-Ams with Fony Graven in second place, trailing 3 cars behind at this point. He's stuck behind Artie Narkel. Then you got Pierre chasing him down in third place. Herman Lazarus, Peter van der Spey a little bit further back. Dirk Herber and Vanon Kersop trying to get himself all in order after losing out a bit of time there. Troy Dolanchik starting to check out of this fight. He does not want to stick around, knowing the stiff competition right behind him. Kildenace dealing with Free at this point as the Lemon trying to get underneath the rear wing of him. Couldn't get it all hooked up, and now is in the tow as they battle their way through. These straights are incredibly long, and the cars themselves lead into having the slipstream. You don't want to break out of the train. If you're doing that, you need to get well enough ahead. You don't want to be the piggy in the middle at this point, or even be the one leading the train, because you will be overtaken if you're not careful enough. As everyone looks to be making their way through. Taking a look, yellow flags being shown. Let's take a look at this. This is Jason Coetzee. He's got the rear damage to his car, so lack of grip. Going late on the brakes, tries to swing it in. Oh, hooking wheels with one another. And thankfully he's able to get it out and sort it, but that is going to cost him time for Heat 1 of the SA Lube F4 Cup. And Free dropping down the order. Yuri Swart and Ryan Ottens getting past him without too much of an issue because of a late braking there. But now Free dealing with Luke Lucchese. Former rivals now reuniting on the circuit. Looking to slide their way around. Looks on the inside. Couldn't get it all sorted out there. Trying to be as smooth as he can. And just really lean into the pressure. We've got some time of racing, 20 laps, so essentially 20 minutes of racing. Jamie Riso locking it up, locking that front left up. That's going to lose him out a bit of time. Willem Buerta will come onto the attack wearing the SA colours. Gotta say, Willem Buerta showing off a phenomenal pace. He has been throughout the season, now taking on the young gun of Jamie Rees. And I remember going and commentating on Jamie Rees's first ever races, where he was actually in a talent search program, and I will say was one of the drivers to say keep an eye out on. he's a sim racer that will be leading the charge come the future. And well, taking the fight to the likes of Willem Botha is no easy feat. Willem, coming from the real world of racing, got a long pedigree in terms of championships under his belt. Now dealing with the young gun, we've got generational battles. Back up through the order though, Kildenace going and breaking away from Yuri Swart, currently in third place of our pros. Ryan Ottens unable to get any pace underneath him, with Jan Fourie and Luke Lucchesi right behind. Willem Botha though going side by side. Jamie Rees is going to look for the inside, going to go a little bit later on the brakes. Can he get it all sorted out? Holding the apex, trying to swing it out right, and Willem's not going to back out of this one. Really walks him out to the fringes. Says, not this time. You're going to have to work a little bit harder for this one. Yellow flags being waved, though, for Artie Nachel. So what happened to Artie? Sorry, that's going a little bit back to our overtake. This is Artie Nachel going and fighting his way through, coming from the rally scene. And I think, dropping a wheel in the dirt. And there's the collision. Just all it took was one wheel on the dirt. Flicks the car out, and whammo bammo, that's all she wrote for that car. Now needing to go into the pits and get a couple of spares onto it. Thankfully, our pit crew do have a couple of spares to rebuild these cars, but you need to get the car back to the pits, either try and limp it back, or if you're running into a bit of an issue, go and just get it towed. Nico Killerman, though, leading out getting passed by Timothy Stanton. Timothy Stanton leading out the charge for our Pro-Ams is now onto the back of Willem Botha, so he's going to give a great chase here. Back up into 5th and 4th though, Jan Fourie, Jan Fourie and Luke Lucchesi are going at one another. Luke Lucchesi is going to back off slightly, allow Fourie just to walk himself out a little bit wider. Doesn't want to hurt the tires just too much at this point. So he's still going to be concentrating on the mainstay of the end of the race. This is a 20-minute heat. The tires do have a serious drop-off point at it, especially at the temperature of the circuit. So the guys are going to have to figure out what's going to work for them. Taking a look at our battle box though, you can see Fourie down 3 positions from where he started. Luke Lucchesi has not gained that bit of time, so he wants to get ahead and try and figure out what he can do. Moving on to our sector time, so Luke Lucchesi was faster in Sector 1 and lost our time through Sector 2, but Sector 3, Fourie going and keeping ahead as well. So Fourie just doing enough to keep ahead of Luke Lucchesi as they fight their way on the rounds. It is going to be a proper run for our drivers. No pit stops here. Fourie holding that inside line, not going to back out of it. Luke Lucchesi having to back out and choose not to get into the fight. The RDSA Pantera Racing Machine now fighting out with Jan Fourie, multiple champion in the TDCRs, now duking it out with Luke Lucchesi, who's not going to back out of this one. Yuri Swart, also a young gun in the world of racing, has done tremendous amount of work as he fights his way through. Has gone and won multiple national titles under his name, dealing with sim racers' very own multiple champion Ryan Ottens as he leads the charge. He's part of the Alpha 1 Academy, not the Hybrid Academy. He needs to update that, but wearing the Alpha 1 colors, and this is his debut season in the world of iRacing, coming from the world of Assetto Corsa Competizione right here at RaceFace.Pro, and with the SA Lube F4 Cup, and with everything on the line, being the championship that is recognized by MSA, and also having SA Lube going and being the main sponsor for the championship. You want to make a great first impression, but Yuri Swart's not going to back down from this fight. He's going to keep him going as they fight their way through. A little bit further down the field, just want to point out another little battle that's building up, and that is Peter Fony Graven as he gets ahead of Pierre, our international driver, now duking it out with one of our elder statesmen in terms of racing, and also has been pioneering in the world of sim racing for real world motorsport. Peter Fony Graven going and jumping head first into the world of sim racing, not going and dealing with it too much. But one driver I am seriously impressed with right now, and I'm sure everyone can be, is Jason Coetzee, the RSA Esport driver. Currently has lack of aero. He's got less pressure on the rear tires, which means that rear is so unstable underneath him. But utilizing what he knows from sim racing and from the real world motorsport, he is going and controlling it, trying to keep the pace and hold a bit of ground. He's down 4 positions from where he started, but with the amount of damage on the car, he's not going to back out from the fight. He's going to ensure that Peter van Spee is going to have to work for it on this occasion. So good to see him out there. Back up to a fighting order. It is Jamie Rees versus Willem Botha, 7th and 8th place as it stands. And you can see Willem Botha trying to line up the inside line. Second guesses it. Not going to go for the dive just as yet. He's going to just try and edge Jamie Rees into a mistake. Couldn't get it all sorted out as yet. And will be concentrating on the mainstay fight as they make their way through the order. So, how is it going to work? And they got Timothy Stanton, who's currently leading the charge. So let's take a look at the grid as it stands. Troy Dolanchik leading out our pros. Second place of the pros is Sheik Hildenes along with Yuri Spark, Ryan Ottens. Then we've got Johan Fourie, Luke Lucchesi, Jamie Rees, Willem Botha, along with Nico Killerman. In 9th position, 10th is Peter Joubert, 11th is Jason Coetzee, and 12th is Artie Nachel, returning after just putting a wheel in the dirt, getting very close to it once again as he fights his way through. Moving on to our Pro-Ams, Timothy Stanton leading the charge with Herman Lazarus in 2nd place. Pierre in 3rd place, chasing down and keeping ahead of Peter van Spee, lying in 4th. Doug Herber has caught up to the train, lying in 5th. 6th is Fony Graven and Wayne Kersum rounding out our field at the moment as they fight their way down the order and really doing everything they can. Just taking a look, yellow flags for Pierre. So something has gone on for our international driver. Did he lock it up and just have the rear go out underneath him? Yes, it did. And whoa, all the drivers having to take evasive action, holding the brakes. Oh, Artie Nachel. Was that Artie Nachel that got it, or was that Fony Graven? Yeah, it was Fony Graven that landed up, just clipping him and losing out the little bit of run there. Thankfully, no damage to it. So this is going to be a proper run for our drivers to try and keep the pace up as it stands. Willem Botha, though, is still going to take the fight to Jamie Rees. This is one of our closest battle on the circuit for our pros. But for our Pro-Ams, I do want to go and point out that Fony Graven right onto the back of Doug Herber. Now is going to look for the inside line on the team try-hard driver. Second guesses it, going to wait it out. And I do want to point out kind of an amazing color scheme here. You have got Doug Herber going and in those iconic McLaren styling for the modern era, and is really showing off what he can do. But then you have got Fony, who's going and fighting it out in more the classic era, going and taking a nod to the late 90s and early 90s of Formula One with the Canon Elf Renault racing machine. Absolutely great stuff. Oh, yellow flags just getting shown, and that is Willem Botha. So what happened to Willem Botha on the run to Jamie Rees? Oh, just loses the rear, and that's what happened. Let's see if we can go try take a look on the roll bar. 3rd gear, and on the power, it just slips out underneath him. That's all she wrote as he made his way through. Not quite what he wanted it to turn out as, but our drivers needing to see how it all works out. Jason Coetzee now into the pits getting his car repaired. Troy Dolanchik leading out the pack for our pros. Closest battle on the circuit is for our 5th in Pro-Am, and that's Fony Graven and Doug Herber as they fight it out down the order. But for everyone out there in the grandstands, I can see you guys cheering, supporting Luke Sturman, going and saying, Sean, I tripped over Yuri Power while he was driving, then I'll have the bells. Yeah, I would think so, hey? If you go and take away that type of thing, I've seen some very interesting ones. We've had guys have crashes because they had a spider run up their leg while they were in the seat. They could see it on their foot, not too worried about it, and then suddenly the spider was gone. You've never seen a GT3 car go losing off into a wall in sim racing like that when you suddenly can't see the insect it's run through. And we've also had drivers that had their cats run across and pull the power cord out, stand on the keyboard, change their views, or in some cases, little Fluffy gets behind the brake pedal while you're busy racing. It doesn't quite work out so well, and well, hopefully none of our drivers will be dealing with that as they fight their way through. This is heat number 1 for the SA Lube F4 Cup, round 1, season 3, and it's good to be here, right here, Circuit De Jerez. It is absolutely amazing stuff to see the drivers really putting in the work. Troy Dolanchik leading out the order. Kildenace trying to close him down, 1.3 seconds behind. Yuri Swart currently in 3rd place. Ryan Otten's lost the toe a little bit and now is riding in 4th place. Johan Free in 5th. Luke Lucchesi in 6th. Jamie Rees in 7th. And then you got Timothy Stanton leading out our Pro-Ams. He's lying in 8th place overall. Nico Killerman in 9th place. He's 8th of our pros. Peter Hubert, 9th of our pros, lying in 10th place. 11th place is Willem Buerta. 2nd place of our Pro-Ams is Herman Lazarus, followed by Peter van der Spey in 3rd. Doan currently in 4th, dealing with Fony Graven, who's looking up on the inside, trying to go for a pass. Couldn't get it all hooked up as they claw their way around the order. This is not going to be an easy fight for them as they battle their way around the track. Going to be a monstrous fight as they look to do battle. Fani looks on the inside of Doan, who's defending the apex, not going to allow him to get any closer, and will be on the defense. And if you take a look at our roll bar cam, which is great to have, especially in the single seaters, you can see how much they're having to work with the car. Taking a look, Willem Buerta, yellow flags coming in, and looks to be at turn 9. So Willem Buerta losing it in turn 9. What happened? Did the rear step out once again? Oh, over the curbs, bottomed the car out, and it gets that horrible jump. That still comes into play. These cars are in tremendously low, and this circuit itself being a MotoGP circuit originally, then moving into the world of GT racing and single-seater racing, has really shown off some great talent. And I've got to say, in terms of MotoGP versus single-seaters, I would have to lean on the single-seaters that we're seeing the action out here tonight for the SA Lube F4 Cup round 1. Van Kersop also coming back onto circuit as well. See that he's been having a few problems actually going back to pits, so not having the greatest of heat ones as they fight their way through the order. So Doan, Fony Graven still our closest fight as they make their way around the circuit. Not going to happen just as yet. I mean, on Doan, if we jump to our gearbox cam, you can see there is only a hair's breadth between the likes of himself and Fony Graven into the corners as Fony goes for a late lunge up on the inside, gets it all hooked up, and goes for the pass. Beautiful pass on the way through. And now Fony having to go and get stuck on the outside. Doe's going to try walk him out to the fringes. Couldn't get that all sorted out. Will be trying to figure out what's going to work for him as they fight their way through. Doe loses it. Doe has lost the rear. And I mean, let's go and take a look at what happened as they made their way through. Doe up on the inside and just having his nose chopped off ever so slightly. Loses out that drive. That's going to hurt his way, and I'm sure Fony will be breathing a sigh of relief at this point as he's got a bit of gap between himself and Doan. So got a little bit of a run here, and I see Jason Kutsi has also gone off track and landed up with a problem, outbraked himself. Oh, contact! That is contact. Was that with Artie Narkle? Yes, it was with Artie Narkle. Artie just sliding in late on the brakes. And unfortunately, that little bit of contact jumped him out and hurt the rear suspension. Instead of continuing, he will get back to pits. There is a heat 2 for the drivers that they will have to just dial themselves in and get ready back for the fight as they look to do everything they can. See the crowd going absolutely wild for Troy Dolanchik at the moment. the Sujan driver, going and having a bit of fun out there in the old Mercedes colours, his iconic colours he won the championship with, and busy going and saying a big well done to the Mercedes team. It's going to be sad come 2025 because Lewis Hamilton's going over to Ferrari. Final lap though, as the white flag is being waved for our drivers as they make their way through. Chick Hildenace in second place, along with Yurion Piswat, will now have to close up the gap for our pros. In our Pro-Ams, Timothy Stanton leading out the charge. He has got Nico Kilman trying to chase him down. But second place of our Pro-Am is Herman Lazarus, the cheapercars.co.za, going and fighting his way through. And then you have got Peter van der Spey bouncing the car around, trying to keep himself all in order in the Red Bull colours, going and looking to get a podium on his run right here at the RaceFace.Pro. But for the SA Lube F4 Cup, being the major distributor for Castrol and has been around for over 20 years, and super excited to have them on board, as they are super excited to have be with us, and being one of the first in the country to invest into the world of RaceFace in terms of sponsorship of the iRacing series. And they actually did have a little bit of a podcast as well. I did listen to it, which was rather exciting, and to hear the guys' enthusiasm for the racing going forward, and can't wait to be crowning their champions. So making this a breakthrough marketing strategy for them, and going with such a collaboration is honestly a big point in history. And with their history of a relentless pursuit of excellence over the past 15 years, going into the next 20 years at this point, they are looking to make an impact. Troy Dolanchik taking first place, Chick Hildenace taking first, second. Troy Dolanchik in first, Chick Hildenace in second, Yuri Swart taking third. Ryan Ottens will be taking fourth. Then you got Johan Fourie in fifth. Luke Lucchesi in 6th. 7th goes to Jamie Rees. First of our Pro-Ams goes to Timothy Stanton, 8th overall. He's going to be happy with that. Nico Kilman taking 9th overall, 8th in class. Peter Hubert taking 10th overall, 9th in class. And Willem Buerta taking 11th overall, 10th in class. Herman Lazarus, as he powers his way through, will be taking the second place spot for our Pro-Ams. And third place will be going to Peter van der Spey for our Pro-Ams, finishing in 13th position overall, third in class. Fony Graven comes across the line in 14th, and seems like he's actually got a problem. Fony waiting out, and Doan Huber comes across. Wow. Did Fony Graven stall the car, or did he give the position back to Doan Huber from their fight? If so, props on that. Wow. Don't get to see that too often. Artie Narkel comes across the line, taking 11th in class, 16th overall, followed by Pierre in 17th, 6th in class for our Pro-Ams. 18th will be Jason Coetzee, 12th in class, 18th overall, and 19th. So, as we take a quick look at our results for our Heat 1 for our Pro, Troy Dolanchik, Chick Hildenace in second, along with Yuri Swart, followed by Ryan Ottens, Johan Fourie, Luke Lucchesi, Jamie Rees, Nico Kilman, Peter Hubert, Willem Buerta, Artie Narkel, and Jason Coetzee, rounding out in 12th place. And then moving on to our Pro-Ams, we have the likes of Timothy Stanton, Herman Lazarus, Peter van der Spey, along with Doan Huber, Fony Graven, along with Pierre Cousin and Werner Kursop, rounding out for it. And I see that they've got Peter Thunder, but it actually is the Thunder Spey that should be in that little bit. It's getting chopped off by our live timing. Big apologies on that one for our live timing. And that is our unofficial results for Heat 1. We will be moving into our Heat 2 right here for the SA Lube F4 and round 1, season 3 of the F4 at Circuit De Jerez, El Janeto, a 4.3 circuit that is best known in the world of MotoGP and Superbike racing. Then moving into the world of GT racing, single-seater racing, sports cars, WEC, and also into the world of endurance racing. Out here in Spain, it is a scorcher. Temperature's gone down to 32 degrees, but it is still hot enough in the box that I have got the fan on to keep myself nice and cool under these conditions, because, my heavens, I can't imagine how the drivers are feeling in their seat. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lots of people ask, with sim racing, what is going to be the major factor for people to be dealing with? Because you haven't got these high G-forces up against your body. You're not getting thrown around. And in terms of, you're not going to be getting hurt into a wall. How can you get so tired? Well, let me chuck this out to you guys, because much like the well-oiled machines of a car, even though you're not putting it under high intensity stress of like when you're driving on the road and you're having to think, well, it's just cruising at 120. What's the problem with it? I'm in the last gear, not the revs any high. But if you don't put the right stuff in the engine, like from SA Lube, our major distributor for castor oils and also lubricants, if you don't put the right stuff in, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have breakdowns. You're going to have wear outs. You're going to wear parts out. Drivers in the sim rigs are exactly the same. They've got load cell pedals. Some of them have got load cell pedals. Well, that means it's got this big weight at the bottom of it that you've got to bottom it out. And 200 kilos load cell. Some of them have got where you actually have to put 200 kilograms to bottom that pedal out. You've got to really stand on it to be able to bottom the whole thing out. Now, that is going to put fatigue into their left leg. That is going to start causing the muscle in the thigh to start cramping up, to start feeling it over time. That you're going to have to be careful of. Also, cramps starting to build in the right leg because you're constantly on that throttle and going through it. Also, if you're moving on to like the cheaper side of the gear, like your G29s, your Logitech G29s, your Thrustmaster T300s, you don't need all the fancy gear to get it right. But that's when you start feeling it on the ankles. Because just like your ankles, they need to be able to freely move. As soon as they start getting a bit stiff, you're going to start running into problems. You're going to hear that, what we call in the medical world, crepitus. You're going to start feeling it where it's almost like bone against bone at that point. For anyone at home that is wondering how your engine feels without a bit of oil, or even if your bones are not going and feeling so great with our natural oils in our body, go and take a chicken bone or go and take any type of bone, snap it in half, and then compress the two ends press them right against one another and move them. You're going to feel that crunchy sensation, and that is what your engines and also what the drivers do start to feel over time. They start to feel those joints getting stiffer. They start feeling all the friction that is starting to happen there. That being said, fatigue does kick in. You also do feel it in the arms, the shoulders, and the wrists, because you're constantly counter steering. You're not just going and flicking it through the corners. You do have something called force feedback coming through, giving you all the information needing to go and make it work out on the circuit. So the drivers are having to deal with that, and also the mental concentration to keep it up throughout the race. They also have a bit of eye strain as well. But we are heading down to the grid, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where it gets exciting, because we're going to switch things up a little bit as we're going to swap our top 5 around. Yes, our safety car looks amazing out there. Gotta say, love the safety car. But Jan Fourie will be starting in first place. Ryan Ottens in second place as they line up on the grid. Then you have got Yuri Swart along with Chick Hildenez, Troy Dolanchek, Luke Lucchesi, Jamie Rees, Timothy Stanton, Nico Killerman, Peter Hubert, Willem Buerta, Herman Lazarus, Peter van der Spey, Doug Herber, Fony Graven, Artie Nagel, Pierre Cousin, and Jason Coetzee at the back in the 18th place. He's going to have to make a climb of note along with Vainan Kursap right at the back end of the field. Top 5 have been switched round, and it is going to be lights on at this point. 3, 4, 5, and green, as Jim shouts it out. And off to a great start. Ryan Otten's trying to get a jump off Troy Dolanchek as they come off the line. Jan Fourie going and taking the lead and wants to get away. Yuri Swart dealing with the likes of Ryan Ottens. Goes and pushes him out wide. That allows Kildenace to get right behind. Kildenace bumps the wheels, and there is a bit of a pile-up. Ryan Ottens getting pushed back into the field. And not ideal for the suspension on these cars. They're not going to be too happy about that. Troy Dolanchik, though, moves himself into third place. He's not too worried about it. Timothy Stanton going and feeling okay with it. And now Jamie Reese, who just avoided that ever so slight of contact, is now able to keep up the pace. Luke Lucchesi also on the charge. He's got Nico Kilman trying to chase him down. Willem Buerta, as he's going on the defense, as Peter Hubert tries to go up on the inside, going to put himself in the middle, backs out of it. Chick Hildenace doing everything he can to try and go around the outside. 3 wide as they make their way through the hairpin. Oh, and it's contact. Bit of chaos at the back. And that looks to be Herman Lazarus that has taken the worst of it, as Ryan Ottens looks like he locked up under braking, went into the back of him, and that's just all into one, not working out as it all came to be. So let's see if we can go back to the incident with Herman Lazarus in the hairpin. This we just saw in the view, going on the defense, locks up on the inside, over the curb, understeers, just nowhere to go, trying to get past, ran out of space, and in turn the car understeering into the rest of the field. Not much can be done there, but some damage definitely being shown on the cars. A couple of the drivers pulling into the pits to get some work done onto them. Kildenace, Luke Lucchesi, Ryan Ottens all pulling into the box. Jan Ferree and Troy Dolanchik are going and finishing first and second currently, with Yuri Swart in third. Jamie Reese currently in fourth place as he fights his way through. Timothy Stanton right behind him. First of our Pro-Ams, now in fifth place in ideal times. Willem Buerta dealing with Peter Hubert, who's got Nico Kilman, who's on the charge. Nico Kilman with a great climb. He's up 3 positions from where he started. He's got his eyes firmly set on Hubert right ahead of him. And then you've got Artie Narkel. Remember, Artie went and dropped a wheel off the circuit in Heat 1. Now in Heat 2, has been on a bit of a pace to try and keep it all together for the SA Lube F4 Cup right here at Circuit De Jerez. Veynon Kursop, who had a nightmare of a run, he's up into 10th place, second in class, with Pierre right behind him. Pierre going to go up on the inside, going to battle it out, and Pierre's going to push Veynon Kursop into a situation. Veynon, who actually comes from the likes of sim racing, also nicknamed Wobble in his earlier days, going and sporting a livery that's gets a bit exciting, that's for certain. That's out here on the circuit. Oh, getting a vicious tank slapper as he gets on the power too early, loses out, and Pierre goes into the front of him, both cars off. My heavens, Veynon just lost the rear, and that was pretty much all she wrote for him. As we take a look, oh, the contact, just having that rear snap out, and unfortunately Pierre nowhere to go as he gets involved in the accident. Both are now needing to get some repair work done on the cars as they head back out on the circuit. Jan Ferree leading out that charge, but take a look for third place at the moment. Peter van der Spey and Doan Herber are going and fighting it out. These two have never been on circuit versing each other before. So Doan is now meeting a driver that he's never done battle with. And then you've got Fony Graven, who is putting a huge amount of pressure onto the back of Peter van der Spey. He dives up on the inside, backs out of it. He's going to second guess that one and rather keep the toe, aiming for the drive a little bit further on. Oh, Peter van der Spey, not too slick through that corner. Goes out a little bit wide. Not like a well-oiled machine, but it keeps the pace up. That is going to allow Fony to dive up on the inside. Peter's going to back out of it. It's going to keep nice and tucked in. Doan Herber, though, runs out very wide, loses out the drive. That allows Fony to get right onto the back of him as they are fighting out for second, third, and fourth in class at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So it is an almighty fight for our Pro-Ams. For our pros, though, and first overall, Jan Ferree has got Troy Dolanchik, who started in 5th place. Remember, after that reverse grid, well, reversed 5 spots, he is now up into 2nd place, chasing down Jan Ferree. Jan's not going to back down from this fight. and Troy Dolanchik is going to do everything he can to walk him out a little bit wider. Then you've got Yuri Swart trying to chase him down. He's immediately into the toe, doing everything he can to close up on the battle ahead to ensure that if anything happens, he's able to capitalize on the fight. Troy Dolanchik getting a little bit out of shape, does look for the inside line once again, as Free keeping it all together, going and feathering the throttle through. He's not being as aggressive as Troy Dolanchik, who is just relying on all the grip at the start of the race. He has put in the fastest lap time that last lap with a 41.9, and that is much quicker than Jan Free's 42.7 that he set on that last lap. So he is really having to keep an eye on the mirrors at this point as they go. No, line astern, and Troy Dolanchik on the brakes. Will he be able to hook it up right? He's got the apex, he's got the advantage, does walk him out wide. Free having to go and keep his steering a little bit straighter than planned. Loses out the position to Troy Dolanchik. But now it's all about fighting it back as they close down on one another. Yuri Swart also starting to close into the mix for first, second, and third as they battle their way on through the order. Free trying to get the hammer down a little bit early now to keep up on the gearbox of Troy Dolanchik. My English is starting to walk away from me for some odd reason or another. Oh, the Queen will be disappointed. Oh, wait. Yep, she'll be incredibly disappointed. I won't go any further than that because, well, we all know the Queen. She'll get you. But right here in Spain, take a look at the pass as Yuri Swart slings it in, going and getting ahead of Fari, who ran it out wide, was too slow through the corner, and now having to keep it all in check. So proper fight as they go ahead. Looking forward to this little battle, little scuffle turning on as Yuri closes down the likes of Troy Dolanchik slowly but surely, but he is going to be pulling Jan Free as it stands as they go line astern. Moving into our Pro-Ams, take a look at a little bit of side-by-side action as Doug Herbert does try to go on the inside of Fony Graven, loses out that drive. Fony, who's keeping a very solid drive in second place, is not backing down from the fight as they claw their way right through the order, and they are fighting for the class honours in second and third place, with Peter van der Spey hanging there in fourth place of class, does not want to be let down. So let's go through the order as it stands with 8 minutes to go. Well, 8 minutes done. We have got Troy Dolanchik out in first place for our pros, followed by Yuri Swart in second place for our pros. Third place is Jan Free, Jamie Rees in fourth, Willem Buerta in fifth. He's got Timothy Stanton trying to chase him down, who is our first of our Pro-Ams. Nico Killerman lying 6th of our pros, followed by Artie Narkel is 7th of our pros. Fony Graven seen 2nd of our Pro-Ams, with Doug Herbert 3rd of our Pro-Ams. Peter van der Spey 4th of our Pro-Ams. Then moving into 8th of our pros is Peter Hubert, followed by Luke Lucchesi, Ryan Ottens also in that mix. Herman Lazarus is 5th of our Pro-Ams. Vanon Kursop, who is back out on circuit after his little spill, a little wobble. And he's 6th of our pros, with Pierre in 7th. Sheik Hildenace has pulled into the pits. He is getting himself sorted out. And then Jason Coetzee, unfortunately, is retiring out of this fight this evening. Going and saying, look, it's had a bit of a rough run. The car's not 100%. Rather go and work on it come round 2. Not next week, but the following week. And entries are still open for the SA Lube F4 Cup. Proudly brought to you by RaceFace. This absolutely historic moment in the world of sim racing, to go and be pairing up with a company that has years of experience of keeping all machines well oiled up and ready to go, and being the major distributor of Castrol. I can say whatever you put into the engine has to be the best, especially if you're wanting to be number one at the end of it. And much like in the world of sim racing, like what we got Luke Lucchesi, he's giving it everything he's got. He's going to be ensuring that the SA Lube is working incredibly hard in the RDSA Pantera racing machine as he catches up to the likes of Peter Hubert right ahead of him. Peter Hubert going and fighting his way through. also running some iconic colors, early 2000s and early 90s Formula One. And it's nice to see a lot of drivers actually going and making different color schemes that will suit their car, suit their driving style, and just really displays their personality a little bit more. We are working on trying to get in-car cameras so you get to see the drivers as well, having a bit of fun. Taking a look, we have got yellow flags for Willem Buerta. So what happened to Mr. Buerta running the SA colors? And, oh no, not again. The rear snapping out right at the last. Again, the same corner he's had. It seems to be his Achilles heel at this point. And managing to get himself back onto the circuit and get himself into the fight once again. Petey Bear dealing with Luke Lucchesi, who dives up on the inside. No problems there. Whoa! Luke Lucchesi with a major tank slapper. Just keeping it all alive as he slides his way through. So proper fight as they take their way there. Moving up to our Pro-Ams, 4th place, Peter van der Spey now is 0.6 of a second, right behind Doan, who has closed down on Fony Graven. Remember, they are still fighting it out for the likes of 2nd place of our Pro-Am class. Lots on the line here. You want to score some valuable points for the championship with a prize pool on the line, with the honours of going and standing tall in this championship throughout 2024. It is going to be one not to miss. So first season, well, for 2024, our season 3. That is first season for 2024. So let's go first season for 2024. Our drivers will be competing in 4 rounds that will be duking it out. Really looking forward to seeing how that is going to turn out for our drivers to score some points. Then we'll have a season 2, season 3, and season 4 where drivers can prove themselves. Ultimately, at the end of the championship, end of the year, whoever has culminated the most amount of points will be crowned champion by the end of it, which is absolutely incredible in terms of this, because you will be crowned a champion with MSA in more of their club colours for the SA Lube F4 Cup. So it's not to be missed, and if you still have got a bit of an eye for it, you still want to come racing, entries are still open to come and have a bit of fun. Also, I do know that there is a bit of a special going on. Do not check it out there. The MSA e-licenses, and when you purchase an MSA e-license, you do get a free year membership for new members. I want to point that only for new members, you get a year free of base content and membership to iRacing. Plus, you get the FI F4s, which you see out on circuit. So that's a bit of fun, and it's only $200 for 2,200 rands worth of content. I think I would go for that if I get to compete against some of the best in the country as they fight their way around the circuit right here for round number 1, heat 2 at Circuit De Jerez. Great to see the guys going and fighting it up and doing everything they can. Troy Dolanchek, though, leading out the charge with Yuri Swart in 2nd place. He's lost that toe. 2.5 second gap already built up, and it's all just keeping the momentum at this point. Jan Free lying in 3rd place, trying everything he can. Timothy Stanton doing a phenomenal drive at this point. He's up into 5th place, first of our Pro-Ams, and has got a 16-second gap on 2nd place. Fony Graven, who has got Kerber and the likes of Peter van der Spey right behind him. And I've got to just point that out. It's absolutely incredible to see our Pro-Am has actually got some serious pace underneath him. I know it's going to have a few drivers scratching their heads. Another thing I just want to point out, we're going to have drivers going, people sitting in the grandstands going and saying, yeah, but with setup, you'll be fine. Well, sorry to burst your bubble here, folks. These cars are fixed setup series, so your car cannot be changed. The only thing you can do is adjust your brake bias, make that's how to make it more comfortable. But you will be going and fighting your way through the order. It's not going to be an easy fight in this, because you do not have any advantage in weight. You do not have any advantage in going and having setups. You're going to have to keep it all together right the way through. And well, that does separate the boys from the men. The From the girls to the ladies. From the squirrels to the Apache helicopter. This separates it all as they fight their way through. And it's all going and culminating right here as we breaking historical history here in 2024 for sim racing in South Africa, and also for the likes of the SA Lube F4 Cup, proudly brought to you by RaceFace. And it looks like the grids are pretty much opened up to only Doan, Peter van der Spey and Fony Graven are on top of one another for the fight. Peter van der Spey is trying to hunt down an advantage at this point. 10 laps to go for the drivers as they fight their way through. It is late here in the world of South Africa. They have got 4 minutes left of this race, and it is an outright charge down to the wire for every single one of our drivers here tonight, as they have been going and working hard, or going and studying even harder, and then getting themselves prepped for such an amazing event and a championship where all is on the line right here out of the SA Lube F4. And just a reminder to those that are going and taking a look, we do have that monstrous prize pool. In the Pro Division, first place will be getting 3,000 Rand come the end of our championship, our 4-round championship. So for the Pro Division, you want to be there, but you're going to be facing some of the best in the country. Our Pro-Ams are fighting out for first place, gets 1,000 Rand, and there is prizes in our Pro Division right up to 7th position, for our Pro-Am right up to 5th position. So you want to be part of this amazing racing as we see it. Taking a look though, Doan getting a little bit of drive ahead of Peter van der Spey, but Luke Lucchese now looking to put into the fight. Luke Lucchese is part of our pros. He's 8th of our pros. He's right behind Peter van der Spey. He needs to try and get past these three, but this is going to throw a spanner in the works for Peter van der Spey, Doan and Fony Graven, because depending on where Luke Lucchese is going to go for it, well, that's going to be the question at this point. As, we got a slide! Doan loses it. Peter van der Spey goes into him. Luke Lucchese goes into him. And there is damage on the cars. Doan loses the rear of the car. What on earth happened there? Let's see if we can go back and see. Doan loses the rear of the car. Peter van der Spey had nowhere to go. So does Luke Lucchese. And that is going to bend the steering arm, the front steering arm of the car. And Doan will also have some bent steering arms on his car, along with the damaged rear axle. And he is going to be battling it out. Fony is going to be smiling ear to ear on that one. But that has taken a lot out of the race for some of the drivers. So Doan will be kicking himself on that one, but the rear just stepping out, the Achilles heel. That corner has been a nightmare for the drivers. Even in the real world, we've seen one of the biggest accidents where our first place Audi went and crashed into the wall on the last lap, final corner. But who's not having a rough time out there, getting the final flag at the moment. So 1 lap to go is Troy Dolanchik, with Yuri Swart in 2nd place, Jan Fourie in 3rd, Jamie Rees in 4th. But I do want to point out that does change up our positioning for our Pro-Ams, as Timothy Stanton is in 1st place of our Pro-Ams. 2nd place, Fony Graven, who has got plenty of room at the moment, away from 3rd place man Peter van der Spey, who has got damage on his car. And now Herman Lazarus will be trying to close down the distance. So Herman Lazarus will be focusing on the charge to try get himself that little bit closer. He knows there's a wounded animal ahead of him. He knows that Peter van der Spey is going to be battling, and there's 1 lap to make it or break it as it stands. So Peter van der Spey needs to keep circulating to hold that 3rd place, but Herman Lazarus is going to be giving it everything he's got. And unfortunately, like Luke Lucchese, he is unfortunately retired out of the race, so he will be losing out on some points there, but that was due to the contact and unfortunately bending the car with Doan losing that rear right at the last. Oh, absolutely gutting. But Troy Dolanchik sliding his way through, keeping it nice and easy. Tyres, though, crying for mercy at this point as he makes his way through. Will he make it a double-header this evening for round 1? Getting both checkered flags and putting a maximum amount of points for his championship as he comes across the line. Troy Dolanchik taking the win for Heat 2. Second place goes to Yuri Swart, Johan finishing up in third place of our pros. Fourth place going to Jamie Reese, actually beating out the team owner Ryan Ottens at this point, so he's going to be smiling at that one for the Alpha 1 team. And Timothy Stanton taking the checkered flag, 2 for 2 for our Pro-Ams, and will be smiling on that one. Timothy, then we have got the likes of Nico Killerman taking 5th place of our pros. Artie Nachel coming across the line, 0.2 of a second right behind Nico Killerman, finishing in 6th place. Willem Buerta in 7th, followed by Ryan Ottens in 8th position. Second of our Pro-Ams goes to Fony Graven. Peter Bear comes across the line. He's taking 9th of our pros. Peter van der Spey will be trucking along. He's just ahead. There's Herman Lazarus of cheapercars.co.za. So well done to Peter van der Spey taking 3rd place despite the bend. Herman Lazarus, well fought, closed down the gap. He's taking 4th place, but was on that monstrous charge. Pierre going and clawing his way back. So well done to Pierre Cousin, who's finishing up 5th in class. 6th goes to Venan Kursar in the very, very interesting livery. Not his usual colours he goes for. Luke Lucchesi finishing in 16th overall, 10th in class. Doug Herbert in 17th and 7th in class. Schick Hilnes in 11th in class, 18th overall. And Jason Coetzee rounding out our field tonight. So that being said, it is a tremendous, tremendous run for our drivers. And we will be looking forward to getting the drivers back into the box to get their thoughts in the commentary box. As Van Kursop going and destroying the rear tires of the car. He's really happy with that. As Willem Buerta, he's going to just get himself all the way to the pits. He's going to be smiling. All he needs is 1 point to take a World Cup. And well done to him on that. And wow, what a race. And you can see all the drivers just burnouts everywhere. They're excited. They're happy. They're proud of what the race was for our feature. And honestly, the results speak for themselves. That being said, let's take a look at the results. Troy Dolanchik taking 1st place of our pros, followed by Yuri Swart, Jan Fourie, Jamie Reese in 4th, Nico Killerman in 5th, Artie Nachel, Willem Buerta, Ryan Ottens, Peter Joubert, Luke Lucchesi, Schick Hilnes, and Jason Coetzee rounding out our pros for our feature race, our Heat 2. Moving on to our Pro-Ams, we have Timothy Stanton taking the double win, Fony Graven, Peter van der Spey, Herman Lazarus, Pierre Cousin, along with Van Kursop and Do Herbert rounding out our field in 7th place. Joining me in the commentary box to come and have a chat, and I'm sure there's 1 or 2 questions he's not wanting me to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do Herbert was fighting it. I mean, Do, you were fighting it out for the top spot, and unfortunately it was not to be. The rear stepping out underneath you in a corner that seems to be the Achilles heel for a lot of drivers. How are you feeling after the race? And I know it's a bit of a sore point.
Should I answer that, Stephen?
But phenomenal racing on that part. I mean, for a start of the SA Lube F4 Cup, we've had some proper runs for the championship. The drivers all putting in phenomenal amount of work out there. You had a phenomenal fight all the way through. Before the incident, you were in a fight for your life. And Heat 2, it was that major one. Heat 1 was a little bit more open-ended, that you could go and drive a little bit more peacefully. But what do you think for round 1 right here at Circuit De Jerez, Alger de Neto in Spain for the SA Lube F4 Cup? Sure, it's a mouthful on that one.
Thanks, Stephen. Race one for myself. I wasn't quite up to pace yet. I unfortunately didn't get much time to practice this week for this particular race. Did a couple of laps on Saturday and Sunday, but just a very limited amount of laps, unfortunately. But I quickly got the hang of the flow of the track. It's actually the first time I've raced on this particular track in iRacing, and I really enjoy the flow of this track. It's actually not bad at all. But race one was kind of a discovery race for me, I would say. But race two, I thought I was, for the Pro-Am division, I thought I was pretty much on pace there, and it was a good battle. I think in front of me was Fony Graven, I think it was.
Yes, Fony, who had a rough run in Heat 1, but Heat 2, a little bit better that time.
Yeah, in Heat 1, we had a bit of a coming together there, but I think the gentleman that Fony is, he gave the position back at the end of the race, so well done to him on that one. But race 2 was a proper three-way battle between Fony, myself, and Peter van der Spey. So I'm going to put it out there. All I wanted to do tonight was to beat Peter. And failed at that miserably, unfortunately. But it was an awesome three-way battle for the entire race for the three of us. So I think us in Pro-Am, we had an awesome time. I'm assuming it went as well in the Pro division. I know some of the guys had some incidents. Luke, Ryan Ottens, I saw had some incidents there right at the beginning of the race as well, unfortunately. So, but I guess it's on and onwards to the next round. I think this basically means I think the championships is kind of wide open still. Some of the favorites tonight were knocked out, so I think we've got a good championships on our hand.
Well, I mean, with it being the SA Lube F4 Cup, I mean, this is breaking history right now. We've got a company that has been the leading distributor of Castrol for 20 years, ensuring that everything can keep going. And being a well-oiled machine, it's all about putting the right stuff from the start, and having this team up, this partnership, being the mainstay brand, especially on 2024, where history is being made in South Africa sim racing and even in South African motorsport. This is quite a big thing, and including with our prize pool as well.
Perfect. So, Stephen, just a quick one. I think Fony wants to join us for a chat here. I think he won the Pro-Am division. Is there any way we can pull him into this particular channel, or?
We can bring him into.
Let me see if I can.
All right, so we'll try and get Fony in the box. But with that being said, it's absolutely amazing stuff. So, Doan is going on the hunt and trying to open the doors at this point. So let's bring him in. So let's bring Fony Graven in. Fony Graven, welcome to the commentary box. What a race out there, and a bit of a sigh of relief when you saw the competition starting to disappear behind you after a fierce fight. I think he is so out of breath at this point that there's no words being said. Fony, are you there?
Are you muted?
Are you? Sorry. That was intense.
I mean, incredible race out there. Fantastic results. How are you feeling with the race, and considering the level of competition that we've seen here tonight? What's going through your head? What's rushing through your head?
Well, it was so close from the start to the finish, and I almost didn't think I was going to make the race, because at 3 o'clock I left Johannesburg for work and arrived back in Nelspruit like 10 minutes before the race started. So I almost didn't think I was going to make it. But that was intense. It was like close from the start right to the end.
Absolutely incredible stuff. It's fantastic to see you racing as hard as you can, and really going and battling it out with the drivers. Now, with your eyes put forward to the races ahead, what's the game plan heading into round 2?
I'll just practice as much as you can, so
fair
that's all you can do.
Watch it, Fony. I'm coming for you next race, eh?
Yeah, sorry about that contact in the first one. That's
No,
why I pulled
at all.
over at the end.
Yeah, so I mentioned to Stephen, what a gentleman, dude. I did notice that. Thanks a lot.
We did see
Sure, no
the
problem.
changeover. I tried making the excuse that maybe you ran out of fuel, but thanks for blowing that out the water, Fony. But well done, Doe, Fony. Well done on the racing, guys, and look forward to seeing what you can do come into round 2, not next week, but the following week, right here at the SA Lube F4 Cup, our season 3 of our F4s. And can't wait to see how it all works out. And is there anything you two would like to say in closing before we let you guys go and bring in our first place overall for our Pro-Am and our Pro?
Yeah,
just thanks to RaceFace.Pro for these events. The events are really great. The racing's clean. Everything's organized well. So thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, Stephen, for myself, it's, obviously as being kind of a racer and, event organizer representing RaceFace, just, again, a big shout out to the guys at SA Lube for coming on board with us. We're quite excited to be working with them on this project. So just, again, big shout out to the sponsors there. Thanks.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Thank you very much, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in round 2. Our next that we are going to be bringing in is Timothy Stanton, who's coming into the box. So, Timothy Stanton, can you hear me, buddy? Timothy, are you there? I think also out of breath, taking the double win for tonight. There we go. Timothy, how are you feeling, bud, taking the double win for tonight for the Pro-Ams? And what a race it was. You managed to break away from your competition, but then got into the fight with the pros. What's your thoughts of the race?
I think there's a bit of a gap between the pros and the Pro-Am. So, once you're stuck in the middle, you're sort of in no man's land, which is where my race was. The pros were about 5-6 seconds ahead at the end. And then it was me and then the rest. And I think the key thing with the racing is getting past the first few laps. I find that the pros tend to take each other out. So if you sit a bit behind, you can actually move up the ladder quite easily. And just watching those tricky corners, I think there were guys that spun on the same corner on both of the races. The exact same corner. And I think the first race that it was up to 40 degrees, dropped down to 38, and then it got cooler in the second race. So just adapting your driving to the heat was quite difficult, because you tend to slow down a bit too much, and then the guys catch you. If you go too fast, then you're going to slip off.
Well, with the track being a bit of a difficult one, it's also a track that's not raced a lot in the championships that you featured in. What's your game plan heading into round 2? A little bit more familiar turf in the F4s.
I think this track, it's just one of those tracks where for me, I get down good times, but consistency is very difficult for me. I think quite a few of the guys are like that, and that probably what separates the top guys from guys like me is just that consistent lap after lap. The next race track we've raced quite often. We've raced it in the TCRs as well. I think everybody's very familiar with it. I think it is important to put in a couple of days practice before the race, just to get the braking lines, to get the feel for the car. So even though you might know the track, I think it's always good to practice. So for me, I concentrate on the Clio Cup, which will be my first race next week. I unfortunately missed the last one. Work on that, do a couple of practice evenings, and then the next week we'll be back to the F4s and just trying to stick with that. And I think it does help if you stick with one car and you're only racing that car. I did race one F4 race in iRacing, which wasn't too bad. But you do realize how quick the guys are. So I think just keep on practicing is the key thing.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Timothy Stanton, winner of our Pro-Ams. Congratulations, and we look forward to seeing what you can do come round 2 at Okayama on the 20th of Feb. Thank you very much for joining us in the box. Is there anything, before I let you go, is there anything you would like to say to the fans out there that are watching the racing this evening? Keep PG, but you are allowed to add a bit of spice, because we do have a couple of drivers that missed out tonight's race.
I think, first of all, thanks to RaceFace.Pro, especially to Stephen and Doe. You know, the guys are really out there making it easy for guys like me to just hop on and race. So I really appreciate that and keeping the league going. I think tonight I did hit Jason Kutsia. Looking back, it was a net code, so that always is frustrating. You know, with net code and that, and especially in the F4, there's no real second chance with it. But yeah, I think the more people get on board, the better the racing will be. F4 will always be tight and difficult. And yeah, thank you once again to RaceFace.
Absolutely great. Thank you very much, Timothy, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Moving on to our final interview of the night, and that is our winner of our pros, Troy Dolanchik. Troy, what a race on your part. Absolutely dominated Heat 1. Heat 2, you were in 5th place. You avoided a bit of carnage, and then you walked away once again from your competition of Yuri Umpi Swart. I mean, how are you feeling about it to kick off the season on a bit of on a high stride at this point?
Yeah, like you said, obviously two really good races. So happy with the points, obviously. 2 wins, so really happy with that. And I think a couple of the other guys swapped positions in both races, so it should look good for me in the championship so far. So that's obviously awesome. But yeah, like you said, both races went to plan. The first one was quite difficult. Skulk put the pressure on me throughout the whole race. We were basically doing the same lap times. So yeah, he really picked up the pace and he was really quick. So well done to him. And then the second race started from 5th, dropped on a couple of places that had quite a bad start. But was actually a bit lucky for me as there was a crash in the second corner. So it just got me out of that little fracas. And then I just worked my way towards Johan, who was obviously really quick, and so was Umpi. So it wasn't that easy to get past the both of them. But yeah, once I got past, Umpi was pretty much within 2 or 3 tenths of me every lap, so definitely couldn't make any mistakes, and luckily didn't. So yeah, really happy with that. I think the biggest thing in the races were consistency, because I think to put laps on that track consistently at that pace was quite difficult, especially with how wide that track is.
It's definitely a circuit that really tests the skill. Now, you're no stranger, along with majority of our grid, that is no stranger to the world of racing in some fierce competition. Now, with a prize pool of 12,000 Rand sponsored by SA Lube for that's our title sponsor, that's going to add a bit of pressure of, okay, we've got to really dial things in. And also being in the championship that is now accredited by MSA for the 2024 year, you want to, I'm sure, want to keep up this pace. What's your plan going forward into the next rounds, knowing that you have got a huge target on your back, because you're not only carrying the championship win from last year in the F4s, but now you're carrying it in the first race. What's the game plan?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's really awesome how far RaceFace has come with the iRacing League, now being MSA accredited and getting a really nice prize put together. But I think the way I take this league is a lot more for enjoyment. But like you said, having that prize pool there definitely adds a little bit of spice to the championship. So that's always definitely going to be something to work towards. But I think for future, I don't think it's something. This car and these tracks in general, in my opinion, the more you practice, sometimes you start going backwards. You start overdriving and overthinking it. So I think what a lot of us did tonight, I think Jason and I are all in the same boat. We sort of joined half an hour, 45 minutes before, did that practice and jumped into the race. And I think for most of them, that's probably going to be the best way to go about it. Just before you start overdriving it and take it that step too far. So I think that's probably the plan going forward, and I'll try and keep it at that.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Troy, before I let you go, is there anything you'd like to say to all our race fans at home watching and keeping an eye on all the action this evening?
I think just a massive thank you to LubeNet. Obviously, it's quite difficult to get sponsors in the world of racing nowadays, so to have it virtually is really awesome. And yeah, just to everybody who watched, thanks again, and we'll be back at it soon.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Thank you very much, Troy, and we'll see you for Oklahoma on the 20th of Feb. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're actually going to have one more interview that's coming in, and it's actually Peter van der Spey that just came in. So let's see if we can bring Peter van der Spey into the chat, just so we can get a bit of a chat to him. Mr. Van der Spey, Peter Van der Spey, welcome to the commentary box. Not often I get to interview you in this realm of space, but welcome and congratulations on the race at hand. How are you feeling after battling out in the F4s?
Yes, I tell you what, I had a sim failure, and that's why I was on the qualifying a little bit late. And we got it fixed just in the nick of time, so I only got a lap or two in the quali. And but I loved the race. It was really good. I had a lekker dice there with Doan, and just a shame about the last lap there, man. Otherwise, it would have been a great finish there for us.
Unfortunately, when the rear end steps out on these cars, it's kind of the dead point on it. You land up with a problem. Peter,
Yes.
Okayama on the 20th of February for the SA Lube F4. What's the game plan heading into there to go and beat the competition?
I'm definitely going to give it a go. There's no ways that I'm going to let these guys get away with this. I mean, definitely we'll prepare like we always do. And so, it's really good to be in the series, and I'm thoroughly enjoying the competition. I think the top competition's quite tight, I must say, amongst us pro-ams. And I mean, we've raced each other a lot in the normal Masters series, and so I know what I'm dealing with here, and I know that I can give these guys a bit of a competition. So I'm definitely going to practice and see what I can do in that, and move up to first place at least.
Well,
I'm going to aim for it.
Maybe we get your teammate that's been racing with you in the endurance as well to come back and put in a bit of fight as well. Maybe some team orders. Is that a possibility?
I don't know. They're very focused on fishing and doing a bunch of stuff at the moment, and I think they're very tired after that last SAS endurance series. I mean, that took it out of all of us, and but yeah, he should be. Yeah, I mean, this is his food, as they would say. I mean, these guys. I mean, all these guys that are running in the pro section up front, they're Jesus, man. Running 3-4 seconds ahead of me. I was looking for the time and I just couldn't do it. But when I had a look at the replay, I looked at how aggressively they drive, and I mean, they really have got experience with these cars, and they know how to throw them around. And I don't think I ever used second gear, and I mean, these guys were in second gear so often in each lap and braking so incredibly late. And yeah, I got a lot to learn in this car, that's for sure.
Absolutely incredible stuff. Peter, thank you so much for joining us this evening, and we look forward to seeing you on the 20th of February for the SA Lube F4 at Okayama for round 2.
Awesome, and thanks for having me. And I'm dying to go and have a look at the replay now and see how that played out. I guess it's stored there on the YouTube, right?
Yes, it is. You can go and keep an eye on all the action, and make sure to share it far and wide, because it's always fun to get the support from our crowd watching us. And now we can finally have the crowd joining against some of the best in South Africa out on the track. Thank you very much, Peter, and we'll see you on the 20th of February. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes our racing for tonight right here at the SA Lube F4 Cup, brought to you by RaceFace. And what a tremendous race it has been. And we will be giving a salute goodbye to Spain for Circuit De Jerez as we head to Okayama for round 2. Next week, we will be heading into our round 2 for our Clio Cup. And that is not to be missed. That's live streamed right here. Same time as tonight, and you do not want to miss it. Absolutely tremendous stuff. We also on Thursday have our RaceFace GT3 Championship on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Entries are still open for all our championships. Go and take a look out at SimGrid, or go and look in the Discord, which is down in the description. My name is Stephen Koenig. Thank you for joining me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, that like, and also hit the bell notification icon for all the upcoming information, and we'll see you next time right here at the SA Lube F4 Cup. And like always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody.